Hey everybody, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Ariana Grande's fifth album, Thank You Next. This album came out in 2019, about 6 months after her last album, Sweetener, and shot straight to the top of the charts. Thank You Next features a heavy pop influence, but there's definitely hints of R&B and trap in there as well. The album was born in the aftermath of a rough year for Ariana Grande, and you can definitely tell that this album was part of her healing process. Ariana really bears her soul on Thank You Next, and I think that it really paid off because this is a magnificent piece of art. There are songs on there that'll make you want to cry, there's songs on there that'll make you want to dance, there's songs on there that make you want to do both. So without further ado, let's take a deeper dive into this album. Thank You Next starts off with the song Imagine. Imagine is a song where we really get to see Ariana's vocal range. The song plays out kind of like a potential love story in which Ariana is singing to someone about how she wants them to imagine a life where they're in love and their life isn't highlighted in the media. The song for me was a perfect way to start the album. It's super catchy and it really shows off her vocal range. And yes, if you're wondering, that is her doing the whistling sounds at the end of the song. The next song we'll be talking about on the album is Needy. From the lyrics, I gathered that Ariana is singing about her personal insecurity of being needy, but also singing about all the emotional stress that she's dealt with in the past year and a half leading up to this album, and how she needs support, which might come off as being needy. There is a lyric in the song which really resonates when I listen to it, in which Ariana is singing, "Lately I've been on a roller coaster, trying to get a hold of my emotions." And it really makes me think about all the ups and downs that she's been through and how she's had to overcome that. When it comes to the song Needy, she's not only singing about being needy, but she's also singing about how she's really passionate about what she loves. I love this vulnerable side of Ariana where she acknowledges that it's been really rough for her, but in this whole process, she's really holding on to the things that are important to her in her life. The next song that we'll be talking about is NASA, the song about just needing some space, which I think we can all relate to. In the song NASA, we see Ariana singing about how in a relationship you really just need space. And it's not a breakup song, it's just saying that in order for us to have a healthy relationship, I need space. I don't want to be smothered by you. You know, when I'm looking back at some of the music videos that Ariana has done, I always see her, influence of space. And, naming a song NASA really solidifies her love for space, pretty much. There's a line in the song where she sings, "I'll be the universe and you'll be NASA." And it always makes me think how NASA is always in space being nosy and just looking for aliens and stuff. When you listen to this song, the part leading up to the chorus is like super catchy and the chorus is super catchy and you'll get right into it. And when I got to see Ariana live, it was amazing to see how everyone was singing along to this song at like the top of their lungs. Like they brought all the energy in the world. And so I really love that. And, sometimes you just need space in a relationship. And Ariana highlights how it's not a bad thing, it's just completely normal. And she has a line in the song, which is one of my favorites, where she says, "I can't really miss you when I'm with you." And, I think that's super important. I can't miss you if you're constantly together. So I think what she's trying to say, and what I'm going to say to you now, is that in a relationship, just give each other space. That's all. The next song that we'll be talking about is a song called Bloodline. Bloodline is one of the fun songs on the album in which we see Ariana talking about going out and just having a good time. Sometimes you want to go out, hang out. You don't want to be tied down. You're not looking for a relationship. And so there's a line in the song in which Ariana says, "Don't want you in my bloodline, just trying to have a good time." And I think at some point in our lives, we can all resonate with that line because a lot of times we're going out, we're just trying to have fun, you know. And I think that it's great that she added this song onto the album because it's super fun and it's something that we can all relate to. And so, if you're going out anytime soon, just don't be tied down. Just go out, have fun, and live your life. The next song on the album is a song called Fake Smile. And on this song, I really hear Ariana singing about basically just having a really rough time. She sings on the song Fuck a Fake Smile, and I definitely think that's in relation to the whole pretty much like year and a half she's been having, but also like over her whole career, how she's been in a magnifying glass. Her life has always been portrayed and shown in the media and also shown like, people talking about it online. And I think at this point, she's reached a point where she's not going to pretend anymore that she's always happy. She's going to be true to herself and, not smile, 24/7 like everything's all right. And there's a line in the song in which she says, I can't fake another smile. I can't fake like I'm all right. And I really like that line in the song because I think it's a time where she really acknowledges that, everything is not all right and it's not always going to be smiles. And I think that oftentimes we often, put on this fake smile when people ask us if we're doing all right or how we're doing. And, I really think that it's important for us to identify songs like this and where, Ariana is saying, let's not do that. Let's speak up about what, is actually bothering us, or let's, let our facial emotions actually show. Because at the end of the day, emotions are important, and there's not only one emotion, happy. There's many different emotions, and so you really can't be happy all the time, especially when you're going through so much crazy things. And so I give Ariana props for definitely, killing this song, but also being able to not only handle everything that she's been through, but then also create a good piece of art with it. The next song on the album is a song called Bad Idea. Bad Idea is a song about using someone to get over someone else. On the song, we see Ariana singing, Yeah, I'm gonna call you over here to numb the pain, in which, that seems like a good idea, but in reality, it's probably gonna be a bad idea. In this song, we really get to see Ariana show up that vocal range again, especially when she's singing her ad libs, which just show us that her voice is just out of this world. When you listen to the song, there are parts where you hear, if you listen really closely, someone say Ari-chan, which I think is definitely highlighting her love and appreciation for Japan and Japanese culture. When I originally heard this song, I, didn't pay attention so much to the lyrics. I was just like, this is a upbeat song. It's super fun. I really liked it. But when I really listened to the lyrics, it made sense on why the song was called Bad Idea. Because when you listen to the lyrics and you hear Ariana talking about how it's bad to use someone to get over someone else, and I was like, oh yeah, that is a bad idea. So don't do it, people. Makeup is the next song of the album. It's a super fun song in which we see Ariana singing, I love it when we make up, go ahead, ruin my makeup, which, leaves the listener to interpret that in their own way. It's a super fun song. It really highlights that time right after you've had this big argument and now, you guys are making up. Next up, we have Ghostin'. Ghostin' is a song that comes in with these emotional instrumentals and these emotional lyrics and really meshes together to create this song that'll have you in your feels. On the song, Ariana sings, I know that it breaks your heart when I cry again over him. I know that it breaks your heart when I cry again instead of ghosting him. When a fan asked Ariana what this song was about, Ariana responded that this song is about feeling badly for the person that you're with because you're in love with someone else. Feeling badly because the person that you're with knows that he can't compare and knows that you should be ghosting him. When you move on from a relationship, sometimes it can be really hard to, basically not be in love with the person that you were just dating. And I think that this song really highlights that. You moved on from a relationship and you're just not completely over the last person you're with, which is not anything bad, but, it is something you have to think about when you're moving, into a new relationship. And so there's a line in the song where Ariana, towards the end, says, I'm a girl with a whole lot of baggage, in which I think she's really acknowledging, that moving into a new relationship, that, she has all this stuff she's bringing with her, and, the new person is going to have to deal with that as well. And so, this song really packs an emotional punch. And I think that's what they were going for when they added it on the album. And so I think that this song definitely will have you in your field and it'll definitely have you emotional. But it's a good song. And the lyrics are great, just describing how, basically a relationship can be. Next up, we have a song called In My Head. In My Head starts off with someone speaking to Ariana saying, you're in love with a version of a person that you are trying to but cannot fix. The only person that you can fix is yourself. Sometimes when you're in a relationship, you create this picture in your head of what you want the relationship to be. And that's kind of what I get when I'm listening to the lyrics. And sometimes you need someone to basically toss some sense into you and tell you, like, hey, you're creating this image in your head, but this is not what's actually happening. In the song, Ariana sings, look at you, boy, I invented you. Gucci tennis shoes running from your issues. And when I hear that line, I'm always like, damn, Ariana was telling you that you are nothing without me. And so, I invented you. I created you. You are nothing. And so as the song progresses, Ariana really, tells a story and how at the end of the song, she's just expressing, she says, boy, wanted you to grow up, but boy, you wasn't budding. I saw your potential without seeing credentials. And when I hear that, I'm like, she's finally realizing that homie is trash and I'm not putting up with your bullshit anymore. Coming in next is Seven Rings. Seven Rings is a super fun song in which we see Ariana Grande flexing her R&B and rap style. And this song shot up to the top of the charts and became Ariana's second number one. The song samples a few of my favorite things from The Sound of Music, and the song is really being about being able to basically splurge and buy whatever you want. On the song, we see Ariana singing, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. And when people heard that line, it really resonated, and I heard people singing it all the time. And I think it's because people always want to get to a point where they're financially stable and being able to go somewhere, and no matter what the price is, just see it and be like, oh, I want this, and I'm also buying it right now because I have the money for it and I'm good to go. And so I think that really resonated with people when they were listening to this song. And so, there's a line in this song in which Ariana sings, whoever said money can't solve your problems must not have had enough money to solve them. And that is my favorite line because I'm like, damn, Ariana's telling you whoever said that line was poor. And, this song is super fun. Ariana gets to show off her rapping skills. And I think that, you have a group of friends, listen to this song together while you guys are, getting ready to go out. Super fun. And maybe one day, you'll be able to buy matching diamonds for 6 of your bitches like Ariana can. Up next, we're going to be talking about the title track of the album, Thank You Next, which shot straight to the top of the charts. In the song, we see Ariana starting off acknowledging that she's dated these different high-profile exes and acknowledging that it didn't work out, but she wishes them the best. She also goes on to say basically that she's learned from each one of these relationships and that's definitely helped her grow as a person. Towards the middle of the song, we see Ariana saying, people say I move on too fast, but this one's gonna last. And when you hear that, you're like, oh my God, is she dating someone new? But if you continue to listen, you'll find out, this one's gonna last, and her name is Ari, and I'm so good with that. And when I heard that, I was like, I really like that line because I think it's super important to focus on yourself every once in a while. And I think that self love is super important. And she goes on to acknowledge, that she has learned and grown so much. And, you can definitely see that in her music because for her, she had been through a lot. And it's not something that most people would go through, but she was able to create an album, create a song, that basically detailed her experiences and really put her heart in it and talk about how she's recovered from it and create a good piece of art with it. And so I really like Thank You Next because Thank You Next is really showing her growth. Last but certainly not least is Break Up With Your Girlfriend on Board. I think that this song is super catchy and super fun, and I think from the title you can see that, it's a song that's not going to take itself too serious. On this song, Ariana samples Makes Me Ill by NSYNC, and we see her basically just singing about, breaking up with your girlfriend because she's trying to have some fun tonight. Um, and when I listened to this song originally, I was like, okay, this is a good vibe. And I remember watching the music video, and it was a super fun song. And I think that, it's a good way to finish the album. Something that's like not too serious. And I definitely think that this should have been Ariana's third number one, but she was already occupying the top spot. So I will settle for it not being the number one. But this is a great song. Almost 2 years later, and this album is still amazing. When I listen to this album, I think about everything Ariana went through leading up to the making of this album. From a bomb going off at one of her concerts to dealing with the death of Mac Miller, who she dated for 2 years. I think that the fans really resonated with this album because Ariana really bared her soul on the album. Ariana has a great voice, and I definitely think it's not a voice that comes along very often, especially the amount of notes that she's able to hit. And I think that fans really connect to not only her voice, but connect to, what she's saying on the album and hearing things about her life that aren't really said in the media and aren't really said anywhere else. And I think that, she creates, these songs that are fun, but then there's also some that are super sad. And, I think with this album, the three singles that she chose, Seven Rings, Thank You Next, and Break Up With Your Girlfriend on Board, are the perfect singles for the album because they're great songs. They're super fun, they're super catchy, and obviously people resonated with them because they all top the charts. And when I'm listening to this album, if I'm thinking of a non-single that's my favorite, it's definitely going to be NASA. Because that song is just about needing space, and I'm the type of person that doesn't like to be smothered, so I'm like, give me my space. But I think that if you haven't listened to this album, you should. There's a song for everyone on there, and whether you're in a good mood or a bad mood, there's something on there for you. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below so you can watch some more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.